Hi, my name is Raj Singh, and I'm the president of Central Jersey Real Estate Institute. Today, we're going to be speaking with Wayne Watkinson, and we're going to be discussing a very important topic, and that's really about real estate agents originating mortgages and on transactions where they are representing the buyer. The person that we are going to be interviewing today is Wayne Watkinson. He's a principal attorney at Offit Kerman, a full-service law firm serving clients in the Mid-Atlantic region. His practice since 1996 has concentrated on representing mortgage lenders and brokers and depositories in compliance, transactional, corporate, and litigation matters. In addition, he assists clients in establishing mortgage companies, in obtaining mortgage banking licenses throughout the country, in preparing for and responding to state licensing examinations, and in defending administrative enforcement actions. He previously served for 10 years as Deputy Attorney General assigned to represent the New Jersey Banking Department and as a regulatory officer with the New Jersey Banking Department. In these roles, he assisted the department in drafting the Interstate Banking and Branching Act, the law which permitted foreign and out-of-state banks to branch into New Jersey for the first time, and the Licensed Lenders Act, the law which regulated mortgage bankers and brokers, consumer lenders, and sales finance companies. Of interest today, the topic that we're discussing, as counsel for the banking department, he was involved in the case of the MBA of New Jersey versus New Jersey Real Estate Commission, a case which decided that New Jersey law did not prevent a real estate agent from also acting as a loan originator in the same transaction. So let's jump right in. So I'd like to, Wayne, let's get started.
First of all, Raj, thank you for the nice introduction. It's always a pleasure to see you, and enjoyed working with you over the past years. For state law purposes, as you mentioned, pursuant to litigation I was actually involved in when I was with the Attorney General's office. It went all the way up to New Jersey Supreme Court and back to the Appellate Division, and they held that yes, you could, based on construction of the Real Estate Licensing Act, act in both capacities in the same transaction, with a few limitations. One, you have to be properly licensed. In this case, not just licensed as a realtor, but licensed as a loan originator for a licensed mortgage company. And two, you have to give proper disclosure to the consumer, indicating the nature of the affiliation. You're working for an affiliated mortgage company, and that there's no required use. In other words, because you're helping them with the mortgage loan and the real estate transaction, you don't necessarily have to get your loan through the affiliated mortgage company. You can get it through another third party. Obviously, it's easier and more convenient to do it with one-stop shopping, but the consumer should know that that's not a requirement, and they do. FHA kind of opened up the field for dual compensation. They had a rule for years which said it was a conflict of interest, at least in many of the areas, to act in dual capacities as a loan originator and also as a sales agent. And that changed in December of 2022, when they looked to, you can no longer have dual employment, but it's only limited to those types of activities which involve a direct impact on the mortgage approval process. In other words, underwriters, maybe processors, that type of position. If you're acting solely as a loan originator, that's not a conflict in FHA's view, pursuant to this mortgagee letter. So that's helped any of those companies that's licensed by FHA. And then the third area, which is we should at least look to, is RESPA. You can't, of course, pay for the mere referral of a settlement service, and the mortgage loan is a settlement service. So we like, when we're in this dual compensation position and dual employment position, for the loan originator to actually perform services on the loan to justify the payment of the fee. Things like taking the application, ordering the appraisal or credit, counseling the consumer, and maybe appearing at closing, that type of thing. But assuming we have the proper disclosure, the proper licensing, we follow all that, it's our view that yes, you can act in both capacities.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that. Now, what are some of the requirements for a loan officer? You had mentioned that they need to be licensed. what are some of the other requirements that in order for a real estate agent to make a commission both as a loan officer and a real estate agent?
Well, the licensing through the National Mortgage Licensing System, or NMLS, is pretty straightforward. The the pre-licensing education right now is 20 hours. Much of that is the mortgage information about the mortgage business, federal compliance, and state compliance. Of those 20 hours, typically about 4 hours is for New Jersey compliance. Um, so that's a major part. And then once you take that education, you take a nationwide test, and similar to the real estate industry, and pass that test. And those are the two major requirements. Then we take fingerprints to make sure that there's no criminal backgrounds that would limit your ability to get licensed. And they check your credit report to see if there's any issues there. But that's basically it. You file through the NMLS as affiliated with a licensed company such as yours. And then within a reasonable amount of time thereafter, you get the license. It can then begin originating mortgage loans.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. What are the in for realtors? They need to have they get biennially. They have to get CE credits. What is the CE requirement for mortgage originators?
In New Jersey, it's 12 hours of continuing education every year. Of those, 4 hours have to be New Jersey specific. I've actually taught the CE course for the New Jersey specific part of it, and I think it's helpful. The law is always changing, enforcement changes, and so on. So, but 12 hours a year, which I think is significantly less than what you need in the real estate industry. So that's what we
Right.
need.
Wonderful. I think it's really it's worthwhile because not only are you know what's going on in the industry, but you never learn enough, and it keeps everybody accountable. So, what do you think are the benefits for an agent to have a loan officer's license?
Well, let's think about this. Maybe two benefits that come to mind. First of all, the obvious one, it's a secondary source of income for the sales agent. And given what's happened in the industry now, and I don't think we know what's going to happen with Sitzer and the litigation going on. I think it's certainly, I think you'll see a lot of agents looking for a separate area for compensation, and this would certainly be a source of that. I think the other one that I've talked to from realtors who actually become loan originators is they feel they have greater control over the mortgage process, and they can help their consumer qualify for the mortgage and complete the purchase transaction. And I think for a lot of them, that's as important or more important than the compensation that they'll get as being a loan originator. So I think those are two of the areas, and for that reason, I think a lot of real estate licensees are turning and getting their license as loan originators.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Wayne. It has been enlightening. As always, I appreciate your guidance and your counsel, and I will certainly share your contact information with my colleagues and peers. And again, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, Raj. Good seeing you again.
Okay, thanks.